Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. The video you're just about to watch is for the watermelon slice that you can see here, but when I asked my daughter to watch the video back just to check for mistakes, she said I think it would be a good idea if you included at the beginning of the video all the supplies that you'll be using, so that people can gather them together without having to watch the video and keep stopping and starting. So I thought I'd go ahead and just add this little bit of video on at the beginning, so that we can go through the supplies that you'll need, or if you buy one of my kits, these will be the supplies that you get in the kit. So let's go ahead and have a look. So the first thing you're going to need is some sort of felting pad. This is one of my Wooly StabMats. This is the one I used, so that's the size of the one I used. If you buy one of the kits, this is the size of the mat that will come in the kit. So this is just a smaller size, exactly the same, works exactly the same, just smaller. But as you can see, it's plenty big enough to make your watermelon slice on. If you have other felting surfaces at home, they're fine to use as well. It's just that this one is the size that will be included in the kit. So that's the first thing you need, your felting pad. Then, as you can see here, these are the colours that we've used in the watermelon slice. This is the core wool. There's 20 grams of this in the kit. So that's how much you're going to need roughly to make this size of watermelon slice. Then there is 10 grams of the red in the kit, so you're going to want about 10 grams of a red. Doesn't matter if you haven't got the kit, any colour red will do. Then there's about 5 grams each of the green, the white, the black and the pink. So the green obviously we use for the bottom, the white, the red, the black for the eyes and the seeds, and a tiny little bit of pink for the cheeks. You're probably going to have more than enough of the pink, black, white and green. There should be plenty red, but there might not be a great deal left over, but that should be enough to make everything here, should be enough to make a watermelon slice about this size. So next we'll have a look at the tools that you're going to need. Right at the beginning of the video we use one of these, which is a multi-needle punch tool. It's got lots of needles in here, and this plastic cover, if I can unlock it, moves up and down as you use it. Again, I've explained more in the video, but this is a brilliant piece of equipment for flattening out your work. So it firms it up nicely, makes almost like a sheet texture, which will really help us when we come to move on to doing the shaping of the watermelon slice. So that's the punch tool, that's included in the kit. If you haven't got one, I would recommend you get one, but if you've got supplies at home and you've got one of these, then that's an ideal piece of equipment that you're going to use, and you'll use it for lots of other things as well. Then some sort of multi-needle handle. I've got a few different sorts. This is just one, they've just got fixed needles in. And this is another one I got a little while back. I lost the little rubber washer on the top there, so I've just tied it up with a piece of elastic. It does the job. They are also really useful when it comes to flattening out, or when you're working on something that requires a lot of firming up. These want to be quite firm before we go and add the colours on top, and it will take you a very long time to do with a single or a double needle, so they are another really valuable piece of equipment. So that's it really for supplies that you're going to need for this. I'll put in the description box where you can get hold of the kit if you'd like to get one, and also where you can get the other sizes of stab mats from. So this is the medium size, and then I do a large and an extra large as well. So if you're going to go on and do bigger pieces of work, or something you would just like another one, I'll put the link in for where you can get hold of those as well. So we'll head into the video now, and I'll see you soon. Hello everyone and welcome. Today I'm going to show you how to create this adorable Kuwaii style watermelon slice using just a few colours of wool and some simple needle felting techniques. Whether this is your first project or you've been needle felting for a while, this little watermelon is a lovely make. It's relaxing, it's fun, and it's a great way to practice creating clean shapes and neat edges. So let's get started. We'll begin with some cream core wool. Don't worry too much about measuring it exactly. It's always easier to add more wool than it is to take it away later. I'm using the core wool to build the basic shape. To begin, use your punch tool to felt over the core wool. This will secure all the fibres together, giving a fabric-like texture to make it easier to fold into shape in the next step. You can also use a multi-needle tool if you have one. Once you've done that, go ahead and fold it into a rough triangle shape as I'm showing here and secure it with your clover pen. At this point, it doesn't need to be perfect. In fact, it's much easier if it's slightly oversized because we'll gradually refine it as we continue felting. I'm tucking in any loose fibres around the edges as I go, making sure the triangle becomes firmer while still keeping enough softness to reshape if needed. Now it's simply a case of taking your time. This is probably the longest part of the whole project. Keep felting all over the surface, paying particular attention to the edges and the corners, and rotate your work frequently. Continue working from different angles to create a much more even shape, which stops one side becoming flatter than the other. If you notice any areas looking a little bit thin, don't be afraid to add a small amount of extra core wool. That's one of the nice things about needle felting, it's very forgiving. Using your multi-needle tool here will really speed up the process. Here I'm going to add some more core wool to really thicken up the shape and use my clover pen and my multi-tool to secure that and make the shape nice and firm, ready for the next step. So continue felting this all over as we did before, concentrating on the edges and the sides to make sure you have a nice, firm, even shape. Once you're happy with the overall firmness and the triangle, it's time to add the rind. Here I'm taking a strip of the green wool and folding it along the length to give a nice straight edge. Doing this makes it much easier to wrap neatly around the base of the watermelon. I position this strip of green wool a little way up from the bottom edge before using a needle to secure it into place. As you can see, I'm stabbing straight down to secure it, but also at a slight angle along the edge. This helps keep the line nice and crisp. Continue working all the way around the base of the watermelon, attaching the green wool securely into place with your 38 gauge single needle. After the green layer is secure, we can add the watermelon flesh. Add a piece of red wool and felt into place. Use your single 38 gauge needle to make a clean straight edge where it meets the rind. Again, I'm taking my time felting along that join first before gradually working across the rest of the red section. Continue this way, adding more red wool as needed to give a nice even layer. To separate the red from the green, I'm adding a thin strip of white wool. This little detail makes such a difference and really helps the finished piece of work look like a slice of watermelon. I gently smooth the fibres of the white wool before laying them on so that both edges stay nice and straight. Once it's positioned, I carefully needle felt into place, making sure the white band stays even all the way across. Once all three colours are on, you can spend a little time refining before we move on to the next step. Finally, it's time to add the personality. For the eyes and the smile, I'm using a tiny wisp of black wool. Only the smallest amount is needed. Once I've taken the little piece of wool needed, I'll roll each strand between my fingers before carefully guiding it into shape with a fine 40 gauge felting needle. Take your time with this stage. The tiny details can sometimes take longer than the larger shapes, but they're also what brings the character to life. Once secured into place, any tiny wisps of wool you have can be snipped away with some scissors. Both of the eyes and the eyelashes and the little smile are attached using the 40 gauge needle, which will help secure them into place without poking them too far into the watermelon slice itself. To make the little rosy cheeks, take a pinch of core wool and also secure this into place with a 40 gauge needle. Once the face is finished, I add a few tiny black seeds at the top. There's no need to make them perfectly even. In fact, a little variation makes the finished piece look much more natural. And that's our little watermelon finished. I hope you've enjoyed felting along with me today. If you did, I'd love to know how yours turned out.